Hey guys, this is Kalo Fiorella with Fiorella Custom Fence and Deck, showing you today how to install Trex Select horizontal railing. So first what you're going to want to do is once you open up the package, take the bottom rail, which is the skinnier one, the fatter rail is for the top. You're going to want to line up those holes perfectly from inside of post to inside of post. For me, it's fairly easy to see because I do it a lot. But if you want to make it easier on yourself, you can use a square to make sure you're exactly the right measurement each way. You're going to want to be equidistant from the very last two holes to your posts so your railing is completely centered. So you see me break out a square here to make sure that the holes are perfectly in line. So once you get that, it's fairly simple. From here, you're just going to need your chop saw. So once you get that chop saw, you can this railing has your top rail from your bottom rail. There's no brackets hiding your bottom rail. So all this is going to be visible. So you're going to want to leave that pencil mark on your rail so that the railing is long enough. If you take off that pencil mark, your railing will end up being short and you're going to have a gap in between the post and the railing. So make sure you leave that on.
He's got no money. These. No, he doesn't want to spend it because he doesn't have any other money.
Okay, so now what you're going to want to do next is break out your tape and measure the entire length of your rail section. It doesn't matter if it's a 6 or an 8. You just need to measure it and then get the middle point of that rail. If it's 72 inches, then you would mark it at 36. You know, you get the point. And then you're going to want to use your 1/4 inch pre-drill bit. All right, so now you're going to break out your horizontal cut kit, and then you're going to lay these out. So make sure that your bottom rail is, the holes are facing down, just like how you put the squash block in, because those brackets are going to go on the bottom. If you put them on the top, it's not going to be right. So I've had this problem in the past when I was first installing it. Make sure that your holes on the bottom rail are pointing down when you're putting on the brackets, and make sure your top rail, the holes are pointing up when you put on the brackets, just like you can see in the video. And just a heads up, you're using the smaller screws on this one. The longer ones will go into the post.
Okay, can I see those blocks? These were good for sure.
All right, so as far as your height goes, you want your railing to be 36 inches, and with the balusters, it will make it 32.5. So you're gonna wanna use a 3.5 inch block, which is perfect if you have a 4x4 post block. That is the exact distance you want in between your bottom of your railing to your deck. So it makes it a true 36. So you can just set those on there, and as long as your deck is level, you can just set them right on there. If it's not level, then you're going to want to measure up from the deck 3.5 inches and then level it, and then level over to the other side. All right, so now that your bottom rail is attached, You're going to want to just throw all of these balusters in. You might want to get somebody to help you do this. I've done it so many times I can do it by myself, but it's not always that easy. Sometimes it can be tricky. But you'll see me here in a minute just line up the holes to each baluster, and it should work out perfect as long as you marked those the equal distant like we did earlier in the video. You see me here doing it by myself. It is easier with somebody else, but if you can do it all by yourself, that's fine as well. All right, so now that that railing's all the way in, make sure it's pushed all the way down. Sometimes it can get stuck, so make sure you hit it down with a little bit of force to make sure that those balusters are hitting the top rail. And then what I like to do is a little trick. I put a square on the top to make sure that the rail is completely square. You know, it's not like crooked or anything. So that's what I do, and then you just throw these last 4 screws in, and then your railing is installed. All right, so that's it for our video today. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to follow or subscribe to Fiorillo Custom Fence and Deck for more decking tutorials.